Today, we are breaking down a really powerful tool for getting a handle on anxiety and avoidance. It's called the exposure ladder, and honestly, it's like a simple, step-by-step blueprint for facing the things that scare you, but in a way that's totally manageable.
So let me ask you something. Just take a second and think about it. What's one thing you actively, go out of your way to avoid? Is it speaking up at a big meeting, maybe driving on the freeway, or that feeling of walking into a party where you don't know a soul? We've all got something.
And look, it makes perfect sense why we do it. Dodging that scary thing, it feels good. It's an instant wave of relief. But here's the trap. Every single time we avoid something, we're basically teaching our brain, hey, that thing is super dangerous and you can't handle it. So over time, the fear doesn't shrink, it actually grows. But what if you could take that fear and just systematically take it apart, piece by piece, without ever feeling completely overwhelmed? Well, that's exactly what this whole technique is designed to do. This right here is the exposure ladder. It's a classic, proven method that turns what feels like a giant, terrifying leap into a series of small, completely doable steps. The two words you have to remember are gradual and manageable. This isn't about jumping into the deep end of the pool. It's about learning to swim one little stroke at a time. All right, so let's get right into it. How do you actually do this? Step one is all about getting laser focused. You've got to decide on the exact fear you want to start with. And I have to stress this, pick one, just one. It is so tempting to say, I'm gonna fix all my anxieties at once. But trust me, that's just a recipe for getting overwhelmed and giving up. The real power here is in the focus. So how do you pick the right one? First, you gotta be specific. Don't just choose public speaking. No, get granular. Something like giving my opinion in the weekly team meeting. Second, pick something that actually matters to you. Something that if you conquered it, would genuinely make your life better. And lastly, maybe don't start with your absolute biggest, scariest 10 out of 10 phobia. Pick something in the middle, like a 5 or a 6 on the fear scale. A win here will give you the confidence to tackle the bigger stuff later. Okay, so once you've got your target locked in, it is time to actually build the ladder. This is where you create your own personal roadmap to get you from no way to I got this. It's really just a two-part process. You've already done step one. You picked your fear. Now for step two, you need to brainstorm all the tiny little baby steps that lead up to that final action. Think of it like you're creating a set of driving directions, starting from your driveway and ending at that final destination. And you want to aim for about 10 steps. Now, is 10 a magic number? Kinda. The reason we aim for 10 is because it forces you to break the fear down into incredibly small, almost laughably easy chunks. A giant, scary monster of a fear suddenly becomes a simple 10-item checklist. All of a sudden, it feels doable. Check out this example for giving a presentation. The very first rung on the ladder, the easiest step, isn't even opening PowerPoint. It's just writing down one idea. That's it. Then, maybe halfway up at rung 5, you practice the talk by yourself. And only at the very top, at rung 10, do you actually give the presentation to other people. You see how each step just builds a tiny bit on the one before it? Okay, you have officially picked your fear and you've built your ladder. Now for the most important part. Actually climbing the thing. And the single biggest rule when you start is this. You must start at the bottom. At rung number 1. It doesn't matter how easy it seems. Do not skip steps. The whole point is to build this solid foundation of tiny, confident wins. Now, this right here, this is the secret sauce. This is the engine that drives the whole entire process. For every single step, your job is to practice it and keep practicing it until the anxiety you feel when you do it drops by about half. That feeling is your signal. It tells you your brain is learning and it's safe to move on. When you first try a new step, your anxiety is probably gonna spike. That's totally normal. In fact, it's expected. It's your brain going, whoa, wait a minute. This is that thing we always avoided. The key is not to bail when that feeling hits. Because here's the magic. As you just stay with it, as you keep practicing, your brain starts to learn a new lesson. It realizes, oh, I guess this isn't actually an emergency. And through that repetition, the anxiety naturally comes down. You're not fighting it, you're just letting it settle on its own. And once, and I mean only once, you've hit that anxiety is down by half mark for the step you're on, you've officially earned the right to move up to the next rung. And then, you just do it again. You move to step 2, you feel that anxiety, you practice until it drops by half, and then you move to step 3. It's the exact same simple loop over and over, all the way to the top.
And by following that simple process, that goal at the top of the ladder that once felt totally impossible, it starts to feel, well, not just possible, but inevitable.
So let's just do a quick flyby of the blueprint again. 1. Pick a specific fear. 2. List about 10 baby steps from easiest to hardest. 3. Start at the bottom. 4. Practice each step until your anxiety drops by half. And 5. Only then move to the next step. That's the whole game plan.
What's really happening here is so much cooler than just a behavioral trick. Every time you master a step, you are literally rewiring your brain. You're weakening that old, dusty neural pathway that screams danger, and you're paving a brand new, super strong pathway that says, I've done this, I've got this. You're building concrete proof of your own competence. So that's the exposure ladder. A simple, structured, and incredibly powerful way to take back control from fear. So the only question left really is, what ladder are you going to build?